people usually come to see me when they have done a lot of stuff. They've already done inner work. In fact, they've done therapy, they've done hypnosis, they've done executive coaching, they've done all their nutrition and exercise and, all of that. And there's still something that's not being met. And they don't know how to do it.
Mirabelle, it is so great to have you on the Your Body's Way podcast. This is a long time coming, I think, don't you think?
Absolutely. And it's just like delightful because you knew it was coming and now it's here, right?
I know. Yeah. So anybody who is listening, me and Mirabelle, we're friends, we're dear, dear friends. And I feel like every time me and you get together, we always have the most, what would I call it? The most nutritious kind of deep conversations. And I'm just so glad that we can get together and we can actually record it. And I'd love for the listeners to really get a piece of what you do and, how you help people, because I just think you've got so much to offer. So how are you today? How are things for you?
Things are excellent. I feel playful, creative, trusting, and a sense of, a sense of adventure, an impending adventure. I don't know what it's about, but I feel that.
I really like that. So, I'd love to hear about what you do in more detail. But first of all, I just want to let you know that I went onto your website and I really delved in because you have so much information on there. But I love how you describe what you do. So you're an author, you're a teacher, you're a speaker, but then you're also a wisdom keeper, an excellence mentor, and a joy catalyst. And I just love that about you. What do those mean to you? Just kind of in a short kind of description, like wisdom keeper, excellence mentor, joy catalyst, just so everyone has an idea of what you do. What is that?
Yeah, I would like to say really that these are things that are precious to me in my personal life. And because I have devoted so much of my energy and time into discovering who I am, and I continue to do that, and discovering newness, like not getting stuck to what I think I am. Therefore, wisdom keeper, because there's so much information, and to be able to distill that and to simplify it and to make it bioavailable, to me that is wisdom. To live it, to embody it, such that when somebody is in your presence, whoever that is, they feel it, they get a taste of it. For me, that is wisdom keeper, right? And I think the more that the world sort of goes into technology, and I love all of those things, like I don't reject anything in the world, there's more of a hunger for that wisdom and simplicity, and I think simplicity is the new luxury, right? I've been saying this for like only 10 years.
I agree. I'm totally on board with that. Simplicity, for sure. Like the older I get, the more I'm really realizing stripping things back is just the best way to go forwards. Like, because it's so busy, isn't it? Everything's
Absolutely.
so busy.
Yeah. And then, what was the second word there?
So you're an excellence mentor and a joy catalyst.
Yeah. And so for me, excellence is being ourselves. Being true to who we really are in our blueprint is excellence. It's devotion. It's adventure. And so my joy comes from allowing or inviting people to tap into what excellence is for them, right? Because it's wholesome. Excellence is very different from perfection. Excellence is like enjoying the setup, right? And enjoying whatever's coming. It's a welcoming attitude. It's an attitude of receiving as opposed to proving or performance, right? And then joy catalyst, because I just think that our true nature is joy, and everything that gets in the way, which are the million and one things that, kind of seem to derail us, they're actually inviting us to go within and introspect and realign such that we are able to live from our true heart. We're able to live from our soul. We're able to align with the wholeness that we are. So we remember who we are instead of trying to become something that we think is the idea of the perfect, whatever, right? Whatever image we have, to reorient to how we want to express joy, living as joy.
I love it so much what you do, because this podcast is about what you eat and how you move, and about exercise, and about go. And there was a conversation me and you had at your kitchen table, and you said that's all great, but you need to have an off as well. You need to have a kind of working in phase as well as a working out phase. And that really stuck with me. I never told you that, but I've been thinking about it ever since, like seriously. And so I really have been focusing on it myself, and I just think it's so important, especially as, you know, women getting into their, after having children, 40s, 50s and onwards. It just gets more and more important for our hormones and for our, like, the changes that are going to happen to us. It's so important that we kind of have that off switch, which is difficult in this day and age. So but before we go into everything, let's know a little bit more about yourself, a bit more about you. So what I really want to know is just a little bit about your story, and what were the biggest turning points that led you to what you're doing today?
Very honestly, I think that most of my life was this feeling of not feeling enough, which made me an overachiever very young, and then made me exhausted from overachieving, and also kind of disappointed, because I felt like after achieving so much, I'm pretty young, like, why am I not happy? Like, why does this not feel good? Like, this was supposed to be, like, this was supposed to feel amazing, and I'm not feeling it. And that really led me to, you know, first try and find new situations and new experiences to kind of be like, maybe not here, then there, and, like, you know, kind of shop through different things, whether they were exercise or nutrition,
maybe
or
this is it, maybe this will make me happy, maybe this will make me happy.
Exactly. And then realize, no, something's off here. It's not about the people or the situations, it's something inside me that goes with me wherever I go. Because I couldn't turn my mind off, right? And I'm like, I can leave the relationships, I can leave the organizations, I can do all of that, but these thoughts come with me everywhere, and I can't turn them off, and I can't numb them long enough, and it's not working. So there's got to be another way. And I've always been very, like, internally driven and, like, kind of ambitious. And so if I get my head wrapped around doing something, like, nothing can stop me. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to get to the bottom of this, and, like, you know, let me try meditation, and let me try this, and let me try that. So it was really a process of experimentation. I never set to do this. Like, I mean, I'm Indian, you know, we do like 3 degrees, you know, and I did all that stuff, and I'm like, well,
that hasn't helped.
Yeah, like, there's got to be more, and I sense it, I feel it, and I want it, and I'll do whatever it takes. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's so interesting when you say that your thoughts come with you everywhere, because that's the biggest clue, isn't it? Like, the environment changes and it's going to continue to change, but there's one thing that's always there, and that's you.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, why don't I start there? Like, maybe that needs to be worked on. And that's what you do. That's how does, just, you work with men and women, so, you know, you work with athletes and professionals and like, you know, all types of people. But just say a woman is in a stage in her life where she's like, you know, she feels like you do, or how you did. How does she know to come and seek help from someone like yourself? Because we know there are doctors around, we know there are personal trainers and nutritionists and all of these people that can help. But how does she know she needs someone like you?
She feels a calling. She can't put a finger on what it is that she really is seeking. She knows all of these professionals help her, but somehow they don't hit the spot. And something inside of her is uncompromising in how it calls to her. It may call to insomnia. It may call to menstrual imbalances. It may call to frustration of, like, I don't know how to parent right. Like, whatever it is, but it's incessant. She can't turn it off.
No matter what she does.
No matter what she does. The logic doesn't help. The degrees don't help. More doesn't help. People usually come to see me when they have done a lot of stuff. They've already done inner work. In fact, they've done therapy, they've done hypnosis, they've done executive coaching, they've done all their nutrition and exercise and, all of that. And there's still something that's not being met. And they don't know how to do it. And most of the people that come to see me, it just happens. Someone tells them, and people will often say, my friend so-and-so worked with you, and she said, I need to come and see you. And I asked her, what do you do? And she said, don't ask me, just go and see Mirabelle. And so it's like that, because my gift is to let people feel really safe, to trust themselves.
Do you find that we struggle with that? Most people struggle to feel safe within.
Yeah. And I want to say, I'm not talking about safe like, safe in the environment, or I'm talking about safe to trust yourself. It's a different kind of safety. Right? Because you can create boundaries, you can create walls, you can create processes, and all of us have our own mechanisms to create some kind of safety. But being safe to trust yourself is to be okay with the unknown, to be okay with the mystery, and to be okay with the adventure. And it's a big shift from safety that is based on like nervous system regulation, and all of those are important, right? But they're still very like kindergarten. I'm talking about another kind of safety, such that life is not something that you're not working on yourself, you're not fixing yourself, you're discovering yourself, and that process is an adventure. It's play.
Yeah.
Right? There's a lightness to it, and it's possible. It's possible, because the whole world is saying the opposite. It's saying, listen to this, read these books, fix yourself, do this, one more thing. And this is a process of subtraction. It's a process of simplification. And when people come to me, they've already done so much, and they're like, okay, this is not working. And it's almost like a big, I don't have to do more.
What are the biggest issues women come to you with? Is there a difference between men and women?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Well, men usually come with more sort of physiological things, like, I'm having trouble sleeping, stuff like that. But, I have to say that there are some things that are common. It's just that the way it comes out is different. Everybody struggles with self-worth. Everybody struggles with what the world calls imposter syndrome, but I don't believe in that.
What would you call it?
I would say it's a trust issue.
Trusting yourself, your instincts.
Yeah, or rather, let me up level that and say it's an invitation when you're feeling this imposter syndrome. It's actually an invitation to trust yourself, not to doubt yourself, to even go to the doubt and see, where is it coming from? Where is it coming from? And how can I meet it such that whatever it is that is causing doubt starts to feel safe with me and in me, as opposed to imposter syndrome. Now, how can I cover this up? How can I appear this way? How can I fake it till I make it? Because the body, and this, let's talk the body, right?
Yeah.
The body knows. The body is the litmus test for embodiment, right? So if I'm thinking of safety, okay, let's look at safety this way. We tell our kids safety comes first. We say safety is the first priority. Now, there's 2 levels of safety. One is the safety where the nervous system needs to feel safe. So if I feel like you're going to ask me something that I don't want to, that'll get me in trouble, I might tell a white lie, right? And in the moment, it keeps me safe. And I'm like, oh. But I'm going to leave, and somewhere it's going to be in the back of my mind, draining my vitality, draining my energy, thinking, well, if she asks me about this, or if someone tells her that. And so
what if she finds out that that was a lie, and it just goes on and on, doesn't it? Oh,
it does, because all of us have told white lies. Like, let's be really honest here. Right? So favoring short-term safety, I've lost long-term safety, which is trust with myself. Because I'm always going to be, now my nervous system in that moment is like, oh my God, I told a white lie, I'm safe. But in the long run, it's going to keep draining my energy because, oh, what if I get found out? And so then I'm unsafe in the long run. And so I can't have trust, because your physiology, as soon as you're not aligned, your heart goes out of coherence. All of this is measurable stuff.
And is this what causes those symptoms you were talking about? So let's say insomnia, or like, I read you dealt with women with perimenopause and, going into those stages of life. Those symptoms can be worsened, right? If you're just not feeling coherent, if you're not feeling safe within. And
to put it really simply, every time we betray ourselves to appear a certain way, to fit in, to have our parents or our children or our partner or the people we work with think well of us, where we give in to what we believe is expected of us, or what will get us brownie points in those roles, or keep the peace. Every time we do that and we don't align with what is true for us, we create a degree of deviation from our true heart, our inner compass. And the heart registers coherence, the HRV registers coherence. And every time we're off, it's just a degree, and that builds up over time. And for women, the amount of times, just because you're talking about menopause and perimenopause, and there's, obviously there are lots of factors, right? But a lot of the work that I do, is really examining their relationship with their womb. With how many times did I make choices, around my womb and my sexuality that were not in alignment with what I wanted. That didn't feel
aligning
good.
The womb with what you wanted, like
for example, sometimes what might come up with women is they got into a relationship when they were really young, like a sexual relationship, because it made them feel like they were attractive, or that they would be loved if they had that if they had sex with somebody. And so every time, it's not because you want to, it's because you believe that it's going to secure you something. And so, do you understand?
Yeah.
And it could be many things, it can be so many things. It's miscarriages, it's abortions, it's all the stuff that hasn't been processed, and it's being held somatically in the system. And we've talked about the body keeps score, and all of this is, and that's really not gender specific, right? If we did a women specific, there's a lot of stuff when we have difficult childbirth, or we have breastfeeding issues, or there are so many things, that, like I had a client once that had herpes, and her partner didn't know. And so every time she had an outbreak, she would pretend like she was not in the mood, but it wasn't really that. And the guilt consumed her, right? And then it became something else and became something else. And so the cumulative effect of not being true to ourselves it shows up. It shows up in the fascia. It shows up in the HPA axis and the hormones. It shows up in our ability to sleep or not, right? Because it all builds up, and there comes a point when the body is like, this is enough. I can't do this anymore. And I'm screaming because I want you to listen.
But can I just ask, though, Mirabelle?
Of course.
So what you're saying, it rings so true with me, but it also feels terrifying because it's like, you know, I feel like I try to fit in, like, here and there, maybe every day, but I'll do something that I don't really want to do. I'm very much a people pleaser, so that's probably why I hold a lot of issues within me, which I'm trying to work through on my own at the moment, but I might need your help at some point. But we all, like you said, we all betray ourselves in a little way, perhaps even daily. So when you say it builds up, it's like, well, what's gonna happen? Like, where's this gonna lead? Like, so I mean, can we just a little bit? Can we just betray just a little bit here and there and not cause too much damage? Or do we really need to fix everything? Do we need to get down?
No, we don't need to fix everything. No.
I mean, do you find yourself? Do you still betray yourself from time to time?
Sometimes, and when I do, because I check in so much with myself, like that's my daily moment to moment practice, it feels yucky. Like I say I have a course, an audio course for my private clients that do this, you know, sort of deep dive program with me, and it's called The Art of Ease. And one of the tools is, you know, if I'm really aligned with myself, I like chai, right?
Oh, yes.
And so, like, you know, you have chai. So I'm like, does this decision, does this situation, does this invitation, like whatever it is, does it feel like chai to me? Or does it feel like deep fried Indian food called pakoras, which I do not like, right? And so that's a very immediate way. Instead of, like, the past me would have been, these are the pros, these are the cons, and like sat and made lists and brooded over it for days and like did a whole analysis and, you know, all of that. And now it's just like, okay, in this situation, what does it feel like for me? Does it feel like chai? Does it feel like, you know, deep fried food? And then if it doesn't feel like chai, the question is, what can I do to make it feel like that, right? So I might say to you, you know, Tam, I'm not so comfortable with this, or I don't feel like doing this today. I know you might be really upset because you plan to do this podcast, but I really want to give it my best. And I know how much your podcast means to you. Would it be okay if we did it another day? Because I want it to be what I know it can be, and you know it can be.
And that's the thing. If you said that to me, I would have been like, sure, like, thank you for telling me. And we always get afraid of what other people are going to think, and that's why we quote unquote betray ourselves, because we're worried about what other people think. But really, the other people, you'll be surprised.
Yeah, sometimes it's our assumption.
Yes.
And this is the work that I do with people. So we're not trying to fix anything, okay? So let me get that really clear. I don't help people fix anything. I help people connect with what feels aligned, true, and authentic to them. And it's different for different people. For someone, it's being a stay-at-home mom. For someone, it's going to work. And at different times, it might feel like different things because our life goes through seasons, right? And giving them the framework to be able to do this for themselves, such that even if you work with me for like 12 weeks, what you get is like compounded for your lifetime, right? That's what I'm interested in. That's what I do. So we're not trying to fix anything. Like in this situation that I just kind of said about the podcast, because I have internal clarity on my need, right? Like today I don't feel like it, for example. And my need is also to honor you. So I'm clear that that is also true for me. Taking care of myself is true for me as a need, but also honoring you, your time, and like your beautiful invitation is important to me. And so then there's no judgment towards myself, because I know that the request to do it another day is not coming from, it's coming from a place of love. But the reason I can do that is because I'm not judging myself for saying, I'm sorry, I promised this, and now I'm not keeping my word. In the past, I would have judged myself, and that self-judgment would have caused me to betray myself.
Really, you just transformed it. You just literally just flipped it around.
Exactly.
It's just how you spoke to yourself, just how you speak to yourself.
Yeah.
Is what makes all the difference.
Exactly.
So rather than saying, "Oh, I'm letting her down," it's no, I'm honoring you.
Yeah.
And that small switch is what allows you to, be yourself and to come out and say what you need to say.
Yeah.
That is so fascinating and so simple.
It's really, really, Tamara, there's one thing I want to say is this is simple. Yeah. It's a process of subtraction, such that you have more rest, you have more ability to receive.
Teaching people how to reframe, I suppose, reframe the way they feel and the way they talk to themselves. Just give some examples then of the sort of things that we should be doing. Just say we don't have someone like yourself to help. What sort of tips do you have besides self-talk? Is there anything else we can do to kind of help us, self-regulate and to, be true? And
so, to be really honest, I'm not into tips.
Okay.
Right, you can find those. Like you can ask ChatGPT.
Google,
right?
ChatGPT.
Embodiment cannot be faked. You feel it in your heart and your soul, and the other person or people that are with you, they feel it. That is a kind of presence. It's something that cannot be replicated. It has to almost like flower from your essence. And that needs devotion. And I use this word very consciously, because notice I use the word devotion. Not work. Because devotion is love. And work often is just like performative, freaking everything, including being a better human. I got so done with that. I don't operate from that framework anymore. So I cannot teach or share from that framework because it is so limiting. It serves its purpose, but I can't do that anymore because it's not true to, I know there's an easier way. I live the easier way, and the challenges come and they're easier to navigate. They're faster to navigate. And so if I'm trying to get a quick fix of 3 things, and I understand where you're coming from with the question, because you want to give your listeners
something they could do today. Yeah.
Like the simplest thing I'll say is connect with your heart and your body. And every day ask yourself this question: what is it that my heart longs for more than anything else? And notice what you feel in your heart, in your chest, in your body, and don't let that be an answer, because your heart is not longing for a goal. Your heart is not longing to achieve something. Your heart is looking to feel something, to experience a certain neurochemical cocktail, right?
Yes.
Everybody. The number one thing I see people for is like, I wish I have all this and I wish I felt joy. Like, why am I not happy? So this is like beyond the insomnia, beyond the I don't have libido anymore. And this is a big thing that I see with both men and women, like libido issues, right? And so beyond all that, they want to feel something, and they want to feel that vitality. They want to feel that joy. They want to feel that aliveness. They want to feel like their life is a living legacy energetically, right? That people want to be around them, that they have something of value to offer. And that's precious, and that's a feeling. That's not a KPI, right? That's not this is what it's like, and it has to look like this.
It's really interesting because what I've been learning is happiness doesn't come naturally. Or okay, let me rephrase that. We are innately joy and, happiness, but then all of life comes in and kind of covers it up. And it's a skill to learn how to clear the weeds and to still see the happiness shining through. That's a skill.
It is.
And people don't teach it apart from people like you. and we're not told to learn it either. We don't know that it's a thing that you have to learn. Like, it should, like, the more I think about it, the more I think schools, colleges, universities, like, mastering the art of how to be joyful and how to be happy, it's a thing. Right? That's what I'm learning. And that's exactly what you just said. Like, people feel empty inside because they don't know how to access the happiness that's underneath. And I love that you're there to do this with them, but then it's just a shame that not more people are putting it out there, and it's not more of a thing. It's not more of a it's getting bigger though. Like, I feel like people are more conscious.
The thing is that though most of us say that we want to live as who we really are, which is joy and knowledge and light and consciousness, and this is all science-backed, like if you look at consciousness studies, and whether it's in healthcare or in quantum physics and, all of that stuff, the truth is that to be able to apply these skills or this framework, it needs this dedication, it needs devotion, and it needs radical self-honesty and personal responsibility. And most people say they're ready for it, but they're not. They don't want it because we've been conditioned to believe that we can blame our parents, we can blame, the government, we can blame religion, we can blame everything for why things are.
Radical responsibility.
Radical self-responsibility. It means seeing that, you know what?
It's nobody else.
It's not. And oh my God, I cannot tell you how liberating this was for me to learn. And I learned this through yoga and Ayurveda. And I just want to say, it's not the yoga and Ayurveda that everybody thinks is yoga and Ayurveda.
It's like power yoga and
like this is like the essence of it, like the highest level of teaching, right? And people don't want that because it means they have to show up every day. I have to show up, and sometimes I have a 13-year-old that's almost 14 and sometimes going on like, I don't know, 35 or something, whatever she's, and I remember she asked me a question, something to do with Ayurveda, and I didn't have an answer for her. I had forgotten. And I said to her, I snapped at her, right? And then she was like, oh, whatever, whatever. And I felt bad about it. And I was contemplating why I snapped at her, because it was quite a benign question. I don't like her keeping on asking me questions about the same things, because I know why she's asking me a question, because she's hoping I'll slip and give her a different answer so that she gets licensed to do something that she knows is not going to benefit her health. But then she'll be like, but you said, right? So I know the games. I mean, I work with people, I can catch them with my eyes closed, right? And so I knew that, but I didn't want to, and then I sat down, I said, okay, that's true. That may be her pattern in that situation. What was it for me? Why did I choose to snap? And I realized that I was actually feeling incompetent at that time because I didn't have the answer. And so it was a reaction to snap, to like not admit that I didn't know to my kid, right? Because, I mean, what's more humiliating? I don't know, it's a good thing too, right? And so then the next day I said to her, hey, you know what? I know I snapped at you yesterday, and I'm sorry about that. And the truth is that I didn't have the answer, and I was feeling incompetent that I didn't know the answer, being like an Ayurveda practitioner, and that's why I snapped at you. And so she's like, so it was a you problem, not a me problem. And I said, yes, that's correct. And then, a few moments later, she's like, honestly, I just wanted to say yes, whatever, so that I could eat that. And like, I could be like, you said it. And it was so cool. Like, it just resolved, right? Yeah. And that's, for me, that's radical self-responsibility.
So is that the way you overcome small little issues that you come across day to day? So just say you do snap at somebody. Is the solution then to own up almost, like to yourself,
more than owning
to them,
up, it's to check like, why did I do that?
Why did I do that?
Really
and
do that?
do you need to involve the other person, or can you resolve it within?
You can resolve it within.
Okay, that's good to know.
So this is amazing. So like, I mean, the work I do with people, like sometimes people have issues with their mom who's like 75, right?
Or people have passed away.
Or people have passed away. So that's what radical, I love it, that you don't need anybody else. You do the work internally such that your energy shifts. And when you hold a grudge against yourself, because many times we hold so much judgment, so much unforgiveness towards ourselves. We're so hard on ourselves. And I mean, women are like next level. And we're trying to perform at giving because we've been told, we've been conditioned that you're not going to be worthy enough as a woman, or you're not going to feel joy unless you give. So we overgive, and then there's so much resentment that we've never met. And it shows up in the body as inflammation, it shows up as anger, it shows up as a whole bunch of different things. And so when we can do the inner work with a sense of curiosity, it's like, Mirabelle, there that pattern came again. Let's check in. Like, what's it about now? Like, what's going on? As opposed to, oh my God, that pattern again. Like, you've only worked for it for 20 years. You should have done better. You know better, It's so...
Self-compassion. Self-compassion.
Yeah, like, just, like... Even that's like a big word. Like, just chill. Like, how human of me to have snapped at my kid.
Right.
I don't have it all figured out. But I'm showing up every day to be there for myself.
Right.
Right.
Meditation. So this is a word that everybody has their own interpretation of what it is and how to do it, whether it's important. So first of all, do you think meditation is important? And second of all, what do you find it important, first of all?
Yeah.
Okay, so meditation is important. I heard something incredible yesterday, actually. I was just kind of researching meditation a bit, and I'm sure you know this, but apparently meditation can change the structure of your brain.
Absolutely.
I'm sure you know that. I can see you nodding and just like, yeah. Hello. But so for me, this is what really turns me on, right? Yeah. So there was a study done, an 8-week study, and people who didn't meditate were then asked to meditate 30 to 40 minutes a day for 8 weeks straight. And what they found was the hippocampus, which is responsible for learning, memory, but then also kind of managing your emotions, and is a really important part of the brain.
Very.
It grew after 8 weeks in size, and the amygdala, which is in charge of fight or flight, actually got smaller.
Yeah.
So that to me says that daily meditation can help you retain information, can help you be more creative, balance your emotions better, but then also make you less stressed.
Yeah.
Like physically, it's not just a state of mind.
No.
It's like physical brain changes. So can you go into meditation a bit more?
Yeah. I'm 44 now, and I started meditating at 16. And I don't think I've skipped a day. And it's been the most powerful experience and tool. And I would say, if you think about a bank account and like money, you could put in a fixed deposit, or you could invest it like in an index fund or something like really wise, such that it compounds and grows. Meditation gives you compounded returns.
Really? Okay.
Completely.
That interests me a lot.
It is off the charts in every aspect. And I have like golfers that are learning meditation from me, and I have people in finance making really big decisions that are learning meditation because they have now started to discover how vital it is to cutting short the amount of time that it takes to make a decision and feel confident about the decision And you know, I mean, we're in this age where like everyone's talking about longevity now, and meditation increases the telomere length, right? So telomeres are like these little at the end of your gene. They're like those little things at the end of your shoelaces, you know, the little metal
little
things.
plastic thingies.
Yeah, and they start getting shorter as you age. But if you meditate, they retain their length. They can get longer, right?
So it's anti-aging as well.
So, like, sometimes, you know, I'll be really honest. I'm like, what is this like, you know, more than 5,000 years old in yoga and Ayurveda, we had all of this figured out, such that it's part of your life too, right? So, I think 40 minutes is a lot for someone to start with. So, it's important to get guidance. I mean, I've always worked with gurus and teachers because it's harder to figure it out yourself. You can, it's just going to take longer, right? So when you're learning meditation, I would say always go to somebody who has enough experience such that they know what kind of meditation will work for you.
Are there different types of meditation?
Absolutely.
Really?
They're like, you know, as many as the rays of the sun. Like there's a lot of different kinds and different personalities. It's like what will make it more bioavailable to you. That's how I would like to say it.
That's right? Great.
Because it's just like supplements or like whatever. Not everything's going to work for everybody.
Because some people, for example, sorry to cut you off, but like for example, meditation where you're just trying to quiet the mind, let's say. Some people absolutely cannot gel with that and they're just like, I hate meditation, I'm never doing it again. And then some people will dislike guided meditation and they'll be like, oh, what is this meditation about? I don't want to do it anymore. And so to know that there are different types of meditation for each personality type, that's really reassuring. It's like there's one for everyone and you just got to find the one that works for you.
Yeah, and you could be trying forever, right? So I always I still invest I have like a corpus that is into my self-growth that is non-negotiable every year, right? So I work with my teacher even while I guide other people because I'm really invested in discovering who I really am beyond the labels and, you know, all of that. And so I think it's so valuable to go to somebody and pay whatever it is that, you know, you're willing to, because what you pay them is what you're investing in yourself. You're saying, I'm worth this investment. People think like, you know, what am I going to get? And if you're going to be very transactional, and there's nothing wrong with being transactional, you're going to receive lesser because you're capping. You're like, for this, I want this. Now, when you meditate, it's like, I'll do this and I could receive all that. But if I'm like, I'm going to meditate only to shut down the thoughts in my head, you've already set a limitation to what you can receive.
How does someone figure it out? Because I know you're saying to go to someone, but let's say someone is like, I just want to do this now and I just want to kind of try it out. How can someone kind of start to dip their toe into finding out what type of meditation works for them? And what are the different types out there? The most popular types.
So many.
So there's guided meditation, let's say on an app. Someone could download an app.
Yeah.
So maybe someone could try that.
Yeah, someone can try that. Someone can try using breath. Someone can try just watching the thoughts. Meditation is not actually about shutting down thoughts at all. This is a complete myth.
So what is it about?
It's about I'll give you a quick analogy, okay? So I had this teacher, this guru that gave this beautiful example and I want to share that. So it's like, imagine that you're looking at a drop of water with the naked eye, right? You look at it and it's like, oh, it's just a drop of water. And then you look at it under a microscope with a 10x zoom and you're like, oh, it looks really big now. Then you change the lens and you look at it under 40x. And then you start to see what's inside the water droplets. There are bacteria and there are, you know, whatever there is. And then you look at it under 100x and then you start to see what's inside of the bacteria. And to the person looking at it from the outside, it's just a drop of water. What's the big deal? But to the person looking at the 100x zoom, they see a whole different universe in that drop of water. Now, if I asked you, what would you say is the essence of water? What would you say? Like, water is?
Wet.
Yeah, so like it's liquid,
yeah,
right?
It's liquid.
It's liquid. Nobody would argue that the essence of water is liquidity. But when you look at it under 100x, when you see the bacteria and what's in them and all of that, it does not look liquid. It looks very different. And so meditation is like looking at yourself. You are the subject that's being studied. You are the water drop. But instead of looking at yourself from the eyes of conditioning, like, am I a good person? Have I performed at my job? Am I good? Have I performed at my parenting and been a good mother or a good wife or whatever? Like all of that surface level. You change your lens and you keep zooming in to ask, oh, anger is here. Let's look in. What is my need that was not met? Oh, my need to have space and alone time was not met, for instance, right? So you're doing this experiment. It's a process of discovery such that what is not you, what you think is you, falls away. And what is really you, you're able to see it. That's really the beauty and the process of meditation. It is not about shutting things down at all. It's actually a very inclusive process. It's like, oh, this thought is here. Oh, and breath is also here. I might want to favor the breath over the thought. And I like using these words like to favor this as opposed to focus on the breath and shut out the thoughts.
Yeah, because that's how I would say most people do it.
Yeah, do you see how much violence there is in the way that we meet?
Yeah.
In one place, our mind is brilliant because it's intelligent. And then you sit to meditate and the mind is like the bad guy. There's such a dichotomy in how we relate to ourselves. It's so unkind.
Are you a fan of, I've really been getting into, I don't know how to pronounce his name, maybe you do, Thich Nhat Hanh?
Yeah, you said it, yeah.
Did I? Okay, fabulous. I'm really into his work at the moment. I know I think he passed away at 95 and recently actually, like a few years ago. And he's very big into walking meditation and just focusing on your breath, just breathing in and breathing out. And I love practicing that. I love kind of walking around my house when no one's around and just kind of walking slowly and like I'm taking a step because what he says is that the monks in Plum Village in France, which he set up, he said, when we wash dishes, we just wash dishes. When we walk, we just walk. And that hits me so deep because my mind is absolutely insane. Like it's crazy. It's darting from here to there to everywhere. And it's only in recent years that I've realized it's actually really bad for me. Like the things I say to myself and the constant talking, chatter, it's exhausting. Like I'm exhausted. So I've been working on actually quieting my mind, which, I love this topic. And I love the way he kind of simplifies it and says, just wash the dishes, just drive your car. And he says there are so many conditions for happiness around you that if you're not happy in this moment, it's because your conditions are way too high. Like I need to have, this much money. I need to have this house to be happy. I need this person. When no, like if you bring it all the way down, if you zoom in, like you just said, the conditions for happiness are absolutely everywhere. So if you're looking around and you're like, well, there are no conditions for happiness, I'm sorry. Just look at your breath.
Yeah.
Like the fact that you're breathing in and that you're alive.
Yeah.
There are people who aren't here anymore.
Yeah.
And there are people who don't have limbs or, they can't see or they can't hear. If you're got all your senses, just appreciate your senses and just appreciate your body that it's alive and you can walk and like that. Just start with that and then work your way out. And what you find is you will be thrilled when you look at what you can be happy about. Seriously, it's changing my life. Amazing. Like seriously.
Yeah. And it's like, just to add to that a little bit, one of the lineages of the things I've learned is Tantra, right? And Tantra means tools, and it's using the body because there's the renunciate kind of yoga where you say the body's not important and desire is bad. And then there's Tantra, which is like desire is great. And like we use the body. So one of the things I say to clients sometimes is, if you're typing you find your mind is racing and you're typing an email, start to focus on the touch of your fingertips, because we have so many nerve endings here on the keyboard, so that you can start to feel, because touch is very soothing. Touch brings you back to the present moment, right? When someone wants your attention, your kids want your attention, what do? Like, they go like, Mom, right? Because touch
Yes,
brings you to
yeah.
the present moment.
It does.
So it can be your coffee, and like really slowing down and inhaling that, or walking around the house. And that's a way to be in the deliciousness of the moment, including, and I'm saying this with a lot of awareness, finding the deliciousness in things that we don't like pain, like anger, like guilt, because they are here as messengers. They are not bad things. When we realize that energy is the currency of life, when we're talking about longevity, like all of this stuff that's like, now a big thing, longevity is not about living long, really. It's about, what people want is to feel this vital life force. They want to feel really, truly alive, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Right? It's
Absolutely.
not about lifespan.
That's like what I want. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And so, meeting whatever is, if there's an emotion that's called negative, it's not negative. It just depletes your energy, and it takes away from your vitality. And it is also a messenger to say, hey, you're out of alignment. And if you see it as a messenger and you're like, oh, what was it that I really wanted to say or do that I didn't say or do that is now making this precipitate as anger? And can I be clear about what that need is for myself? Can I give that need to myself? Is there something I can do for myself? Or can I make a request of somebody? And it really simplifies things. So even in that, and that's a process called co-meditation that I do with people, where we're somatically going into things that, that come up from the body in a session because it feels safe for the body. And then we meet it without judgment and resentment. Or we welcome that judgment too. We say, okay, judgment is here, and it's okay. How human of me to be feeling, judging myself or judging somebody. And as we keep listening to the body, it keeps opening up because it starts to trust more. And then that energy, because anything you're feeling is a neurochemical energy. It's not woo-woo. It transforms, right? It's like, if your kid is upset and you say, don't be upset, you have so much to be grateful for, like, stop being upset, your kid's going to shut down. But if you're saying, you're upset, I can see that. Do you want to tell me what happened? And it's like, no. Okay, that's fine. I just want you to know that mommy's here. And if you want a hug or whatever you want, I'm right here. Right? And do we treat our emotions and our body and our heart like that? We don't.
No.
And how much more beautiful, loving, safe does it feel for our children when we are just present with them, trusting that they know what they want and they can tell us that. Or helping them figure out what they want instead of telling them what's going to fix them and make them feel happy or stop crying, or like, instead of strategizing.
Can I ask you then?
Yeah.
What about the really gnarly stuff? So the stuff that is so scary to look at and to deal with, and I'm sure this is why people come to you, really. The stuff that you can't just look at it and be like, maybe this is how I feel and maybe I should do this. Like, it's beyond that.
Yeah.
It's too hard to even look at, it's so, maybe for some people, traumatic that they're confused.
Yeah.
They don't know what's going on because there's a block there.
Yeah.
What does someone do in that situation when it's so gnarly, like the really tragic stuff?
Yeah.
What do you do there?
I would not do it by myself.
Okay.
And I'm not saying this for people to come to me. I've dealt with my own stuff like that, right? And I will always go to my teacher. Because it's, after a certain level, it's easier. But that's a lot of, like, a lot of inner work. You need to be held. Because it's so overwhelming that you can, it's too overwhelming. It's too much for your body, your heart, your soul. And yet it is urgent. Because you can't deny it anymore, right? You can't escape it, you can't cover it up. So I'll always say, work with somebody who, I mean, I don't think that somebody needs to be a professional in the sense that, have a psychology degree or there's a place for that. But at the end of the day, somebody that you feel you can trust, that you feel embodies the energy that you connect with. Because there are so many people with degrees, and in this kind of work, particularly in wellness, like you could do a month-long training and become a yoga teacher. It doesn't mean anything. So really, I always I do an energetic due diligence on people. Like before I want to have a relationship with them or work with somebody, like for me, because I can feel energy very easily. But in the past, I would do like a bio check and then I do an energy check, right? And be like, let me date this person and see if it's gonna work, and then bring the stuff. Like then feel safe enough to let that stuff come up. For me now, like the teacher that I work with now, a friend of mine from Ireland said, you need to meet my teacher. And I was like, I'm not looking for any teacher. And she's like, you need to meet my teacher. And I love her. And so I said, okay, and I got on a Zoom call. I knew nothing about this person. I didn't Google anything. You can't even find him on Google anyway. But, I didn't know anything. And I just showed up. And in nanoseconds, like I was in tears because he was so much joy. I was like, oh my God, this person is just pure light and joy, right? And that was it. And so I would really say, like, don't try to do it yourself. You do it yourself? Yes. But what if it brings up so much stuff, then you don't know how to handle it, right? Yep. So.
And it can be with anybody, as anyone you trust. So someone that you trust with your heart and someone that would support you through this. It doesn't have to be a professional.
No.
It can be anybody that you can.
Yeah. I mean, I will say though that, if you can do this with your partner or someone your spouse, and they can hold you, but they can't necessarily help you heal because they don't have the tools, right? It's like, why would someone go to work out with a trainer when they could go on YouTube?
Yeah.
Right? Or they could do something with their husband or child, or why would you use a professional? There's a reason. They have skill and it cuts short the amount of time so that you don't have to suffer through it. Like there are ways to reach deep stuff really quickly and easily such that it is not traumatic. Like that's the work I do. You don't have to relive the trauma. There are other ways, simpler ways.
So you don't have to relive the trauma.
You don't have to relive the trauma.
Because some professionals take it that way.
Yeah, it's a way. You can do it like that. But
it doesn't have to be that way. With someone who has, so just say they have a lot of stuff they need to work through and they're probably struggling with trust. So they don't necessarily have someone to say, oh, I know this person that will help you. They're really good. Just say they're at a complete loose end.
Yeah.
What do you have any advice on how to find a good person that they can trust? Any particular what's the name of someone who they could look up? Like, what would you call this person? Would you call it a spiritual guide, or what do they look up? How do they start?
Can I tell you the easiest way?
Go on.
Inside of us there is the light, there's an inner compass, there is inner wisdom, truth, all of that. We've been programmed with it. The easiest thing to do is to say to your own self, like your infinite self, not the personality persona, like to your heart, your soul, in the quantum field, whatever you want to call it, right? This feels really hard for me. Trusting feels, to use your example, feels really hard for me. But I do want to trust. Please help me. it's the easiest way. And if you sincerely ask from that space of, like, I'm done, I really don't know what to do, and I want to trust, but it's like almost impossible. But I know I want to trust, and please help me. Life will conspire for that to happen.
We live in a benevolent universe.
Yeah. How can we think that all of these things are happening? All of these things are happening. Flowers are blooming, and universes are expanding, and babies are being born, and there's more good, beautiful things happening than bad, and you need both to be able to appreciate, so
if someone's to ask in the way that you just said, then is it a case of looking out for signs?
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, just be open. If you genuinely want and you genuinely ask, even if you don't feel trust, and you say, I don't feel trust, but I want to. The secret is willingness. It's not doing. Doing is proving, doing as in coming from a place of proving, and I have to earn healing, and I have to earn trust, and I have to earn money, and I have to earn approval. That's what's exhausting people, women in particular. Performing is exhausting.
It's being, right? That's most
and it's
important.
the willingness. It's willingness. Like, I don't
Be willing.
know. I don't know, but I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to discover. As soon as you say I'm willing, what happens to you when you hear me say that?
It just feels like the answer's coming.
It feels spacious.
It feels
right?
open.
Yeah.
Open.
Yeah.
Like you're open to what's coming.
Yeah.
Whatever it may be. And then you're more likely to see something if you're willing.
Yeah, exactly. You're more likely. Tamara, life is designed for us to receive. And because you said most of your listeners are women, I do want to say this. What we call the yoni, which is the uterus, the cervix, the vagina, the clitoris, that whole thing is called yoni. It's one entity because we don't separate it. It's because it's one beautiful passage, right? If you look at the structure of it, it is a receptacle. It receives. And yet all we think about and we're conditioned to do is to give, overgive. It is completely out of sync with womanhood in design. Not to say that we're not meant to give, but we receive to give. You receive a sperm to give a baby. You first receive. And then you have the whole ability to co-create with life. So as women, when we are in a state of receivership, of willingness, of openness, things come to us. Nobody's talking about it, but I live it, and I'm telling you it's true.
Really?
Things come to us. We're meant to receive. And then we give from the overflow. Currently, the conditioning most women have is to give. And we're then feeling resentful because we've given so much, and why am I not happy? And why I have perimenopause? And why? Because that kind of giving comes from performance giving. I've been told that a woman is nurturing and she needs to be giving, so I'm going to perform giving. It's not genuine.
So to kind of finish up then, how would you advise a woman becomes willing and then receives? So how does she do that? So you've already mentioned one. She can say from the deepest part of her heart, her soul, her spirit, everything, she can say, I am willing. That's one way. Is that the only way, or are there other ways?
All the other ways need more effort. I'm not into effort.
Okay. So just that one thing, just be willing, being. Like, it's not about doing, it's about being.
Just state that I'm willing, and willing to receive, or willing to open. And when you just say, like you said, when you just say those words, it changes your physiology. It's so instant. Or say, I want to be willing, but I'm not. But I'm willing.
Yeah, right,
You know, but I'm willing.
right. So you can go back and back and back, and you can always say, but I'm willing to learn to do this. I'm willing to fight, to learn to do this, to do that. So you can always go back and back and back and back and always find that. Like, I'm willing.
I'm willing to receive. I'm willing for life to be effortless. I'm willing for joy to be easy. I'm willing to not be beholden to proving myself. I'm willing to not be loyal to fear. Instead of saying, I am not fearful, like an affirmation, it's a bit harsh, no? It's like trying to force something. But when I say I'm willing, it's a softening. It takes the pressure off. It is so profoundly simple and so powerful.
It is so powerful. I'm gonna be doing that today. I'm gonna be practicing my willingness. Mirabelle, this has been so incredible. Is there anything that you think the ladies should know before we finish up? And then also give your how people can contact you, follow you.
I would say that being in a woman's body is such a gift because we get to co-create with life. Whether you are a mother or not, we have this capacity for creation, for cognitive flexibility, for play. Creativity is play. So let your life be this adventure in which you play. And when we play, it's okay to make mistakes because there are no mistakes. There's just discovery of something that works or doesn't work in this moment. And be open. Be kind to yourself. Fall so in love with yourself. With all of you, like the scars and the like, how beautiful that my body shows everything that I've been through. My body is sculpted by the attitudes I've had. And if I don't like it, I can start again today and shift it. Like you said, 20 minutes of, that was the, what was his name, study, 20 minutes of mindful meditation for, I think it was 20 days, it shrinks the amygdala. I mean, you don't need a Botox treatment. I mean, get it if you want it, right? And be unapologetic
I'm sure a lot of
about
ladies
it.
are, they're just like, yeah,
Right.
don't worry about that, I'm gonna get it done.
Yeah, like, do it, but do it without guilt, like enjoy, right? Like genuinely enjoy whatever you're doing. Be unapologetic to yourself first. And I can guarantee you that life will be delicious. And every breakdown that happens is an invitation to a breakthrough and then a breakdance.
I love that. what a great way to put it.
Yeah, like why not?
Yeah.
Just ask in life, like, why not? Why not?
How can people follow you and contact you? What kind of information do you want to give?
I don't want anybody to follow me. I want people to follow their heart.
Okay.
This is the most important thing to being true to yourself.
Okay. I'll put your credentials anyway. I'll put everything down in the show notes.
Yeah. I blog, but most of all, I do work intimately with people simply because it's like, what is that person needing at this time? And how can we, get into alignment such that they make quantum leaps? Because I don't believe in time. At a certain frequency, time is real, and at another frequency, like you said, you just shift your perception and your whole physiology changes. All the endorphins, everything changes just from that shift in perception. And I'm into that kind of stuff because it's fun.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're a person that is into showing up, taking radical responsibility for your life, and letting it be easy and fun, then you'll find me, and Tam will put my my details.
Mirabelle, thank you so much for this conversation. And I feel like we need to do it again because there's just so much to talk about. So thank you so much.
Thank you too. Always such a pleasure to talk to you, and I love when your eyes light up when we talk. It's just so fun.